It is the worst HIV outbreak in state's history. More than 140 people in Scott County have tested positive for HIV.
The majority of cases have been linked to intravenous drug use. And for weeks, county officials say they've handed out more than 7,000 needles to users trying to stop the spread of HIV. 166 people have signed up for the county's needle exchange program. Now, it's a program that was enacted by Governor Mike Pence, set to expire May 24th.
Tonight, an IT-made investigation sheds some new light on the controversial topic of needle exchanges. As
lawmakers fight over whether to add needle exchanges across Indiana, IT-made's Bennett Haeberle discovered they already exist.
From the basement of her Indianapolis home, Teresa McCorkle-Pascoe prepares to make a delivery, stuffing a brown bag full of clean needles and condoms she'll give to a stranger. The practice is called harm reduction. As we rode along with Teresa, she gets a text from a user asking about a location to meet up. Advocates say it helps stop the spread of HIV and other diseases among drug users. But in Indiana, needle exchanges are illegal, and deliveries like these are often done discreetly.
If you don't mind, my friends are joining me.
So do I just give you these old ones?
You don't need to. Just break the tips off, and you can dispose of them in the trash.
Okay.
There's 30 and some condoms. If you need more, I'm going to be out of town for a couple weeks.
This man said he found Teresa's number online and accepted 30 clean needles in a restaurant parking lot.
I'm with Wish TV. We're doing a story about needle exchanges.
Good.
I was wondering if you'd be interested in maybe talking with us about...
I can't. I'm on the clock right now. I'm sorry. I got to get back in.
I asked Teresa later if the threat of legal action worries her.
We've been telling the police chief and the attorney general, if you want to arrest us, arrest us. But they haven't.
It's true. IT-Mate has learned state officials have known about this needle exchange for years.
I've never sought permission from anybody to do this work.
Before his death earlier this month, Teresa's late husband, Larry Pascoe, a former heroin addict and HIV patient, spent years talking about harm reduction. At a 2011 conference in Maryland, he recalled a conversation he had with former Governor Mitch Daniels.
He said, well, syringe exchange doesn't exist. I raised my hand and said, yes, it does. His attorney general looked at him and said, I wish you'd just not say anything about it.
Pascoe attended Indiana Attorney General Greg Zeller's drug symposium last fall, where the program listed him as operating a syringe exchange. A spokeswoman said there were many speakers there and that this does not indicate an endorsement of every idea discussed. But late last week, Zeller endorsed the need for needle exchanges.
Let's make something good come from something bad.
Handing out needles is not going to make it go away.
Well, the State House has debated whether to expand needle exchanges statewide. A government-run needle exchange in Scott County has tried to stop the spread of HIV. It's been deemed both successful and controversial.
They're natural fiber, they're flexible.
Dan Bigg with the Chicago Recovery Alliance says the success in Austin has been increased access to clean needles.
I can tell you, as being an addictions counselor for 35 years and doing this for 25, that I've never seen something more effective.
Kevin Polly says he got HIV through sharing needles. The track marks on his arms are from years' worth of shooting up the painkiller Opana.
I'm not condoning it by no means. I'm 49. I've been getting high since I was 13.
The controversy, Kevin says, is that the number of needles handed out is restricted, and users are afraid to come forward.
We find them out here in the ditch.
Neighbors like Tammy Breeding are fed up and claim the exchange only enables addicts to keep using.
Stop the needles. They don't need those. They need a lot of prayer. They need rehab.
Governor Mike Pence has expressed a similar opinion.
If the legislature sent me a broad-based needle exchange bill, I would veto it.
Feeling is wrong. We have needle exchange all over the world. We've had it for 25 years. We have no evidence of any of these harmful effects.
Temple Law professor Scott Burris says 27 states and Washington, D.C. have reduced the legal barriers surrounding syringe exchanges and seen benefits.
It could happen in any other city in Indiana at any time, so that within a couple of months he'd be looking at this same kind of problem. And that's just nuts.
Worked with 200.
Health officials say increased access to drug treatment and HIV testing are needed. And they've pointed to 23 Indiana counties with high rates of hepatitis C they say could host the next HIV outbreak.
This is a new territory for us, and we need to go slow.
While some urged caution, others like Teresa say there's no time to wait.
We're hoping to not let it spread any further else for anybody who's got it. That's why we provide the needles, we have condoms, we have it all.
The bill that would authorize needle exchanges in at least 23 Indiana counties is now undergoing some last-minute changes. The sponsor tells me they are very close to a deal. It may include restrictions, though, that would require the state health commissioner to sign off on a needle exchange before it would be authorized in a particular county. Questions remain, though, whether the votes are there and if Governor Pence is on board.
Okay, so do health officials, though, see a needle exchange as kind of a magic bullet?
Not a needle exchange alone. They say it is only effective if it's coupled with increased HIV testing and increased access to drug treatment.
Fascinating.
It really is. And what you found just by digging around unveils a lot of what a lot of us didn't know existed.
There's this huge debate, this huge fight over whether we should expand it statewide or at least throughout the majority of the state. And here we find it's already happening.
Yeah. All right.
Bennett, Haeberle, thank you.
Sure.